People deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Now, I've literally just got back in from the gym/jogging, and it seems like since I've left, there's some Arsenal news, or better yet, rumours. As we know, 99.9% of these things are BS, but it makes for a great talking point. So, yeah, get the creative juices flowing and let me know your thoughts throughout. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell, smashing the like button, and subscribing if you haven't. One love to my long-term supporters and those of you who have been doing such and done such, people, in advance. Now, if you allow me to share my screen, Eze, what would he say, people? Maybe the last 5 to 7 days, Eze's been linked with Arsenal. Of course, there's an admiration for him. He's in his mid-20s. He's English. Respectfully to Crystal Palace, he's one of the best players outside of the traditional top six. And there's a lot to like about him. I feel when you look at his overall goal-scoring statistics for Crystal Palace, I think he's got like 20-odd goals and in 100-odd appearances. It's not really anything to scream and shout about. But if you look in the last 2 years, 18 months, he's got double figures in the Premier League. So he's adding goals and assists to his game. And I think, in a day and age of misinformation, we either focus too much on the eye test or too much on statistics. We need to look in the middle. I think where you look at his passing, his dribbling, how he could be on the transition, his showmanship, better yet, the technical level, the set pieces. He's a lovely player and he seems like he's very humble with a willingness to learn. And I'm sure every Arsenal fan would love him. I don't necessarily think he's the sort of profile Arsenal are going to break the bank for. And I've done a video on him, people. It's actually uploading as we make this. Like, I've done a little tactical piece, shameless plug. And I was in the process of doing one about Moreno actually before I saw this news. But I would love Eze at the carpet, can play in a couple of roles. English and whatnot helps with the homegrown quality player, can grow with the squad, and I'm sure you lot have more opinions on that. Allegedly, Crystal Palace are bracing themselves for interest in Eze, with Arsenal, Manchester City and Tottenham believed to be among those considering a move for the player, who is likely to cost more than 60 million. Now, the first thing with Crystal Palace is they've lost Elise and they could lose Gurhi. I personally think if you're Crystal Palace, ideally you want to keep Elise, Eze, Gurhi. You got Wharton now. Probably marry some other quality for their new manager, who is, I'm sure Crystal Palace fans would know more than me and agree more than me. A breath of fresh air in relation to Roy Hodgson. He's playing innovative football, and it feels like Elise and Eze, they were, and all the great play Crystal Palace was playing. It felt like they were doing that in spite of Roy Hodgson. It seems like their new manager's enhancing things. Now, I think Crystal Palace, as I said, would have liked to have held on to all of them, but probably one of the three will go. Money talks. If Gurhi wants to make the step up, if Eze wants to make the step up, Elise's gone to Bayern Munich. What can they say, really and truly? We all know Premier League clubs all have money and you have to pay a premium. So will Arsenal pay a premium for Eze? I'm not too sure. But if we was going to pay a premium for someone, I am all for that, people. I champion Eze. I think he's a quality player. Now, like clockwork, apparently Crystal Palace fears 60 million star wants to leave after Elise. Naturally, Eze, was rumoured to be going Manchester City last year. I'm sure being in the England camp, talking about Champions League and Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp if you're Joe Gomez and all these things. Naturally, everyone's got ambition. It's just like at Arsenal. I'm braced for Saliba one day to go to Real Madrid. So naturally, he's probably thinking, whoa, I could cut my teeth in that. And naturally, if you're Eze, you're not an idiot. You know everybody wants to make the step up, but you're naturally going to think, boy, how competitive are Crystal Palace going to be? Obviously, it's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if Crystal Palace hold on to a number of these players and keep signing, great shopping really with Gurhi, with Wharton, previously with Elise and with Eze, if they carry that on and marry that with a decent squad, they can accomplish things. But what is the ceiling for Crystal Palace under the regime that they've got? I don't know. So naturally, Eze is probably going to, I don't think he'll force his way out, and he's under contract for a decent amount of time. But if offers get made, things are happening. So naturally, you're going to be worried if you're seeing quality players in your team depart. But I think this is a case of creative journalism. But naturally, Crystal Palace are going to have some sort of level of concern about potentially him departing. But it comes down to the premium. If you put the money down, you can have what you want, people. So who knows for the 25 turning 26-year-old? He's been linked with Spurs. Is that a career step up? I don't know, people. In relation to Bakayoko, numerous reports are linking us with Johan Bakayoko. Go and check the tactical analysis vid I've done of that. He's currently at the Euros with Belgium, and allegedly we're leading the race for Bakayoko. And I think I speak for every Arsenal fan where if we're not bringing the striker, we at least need somebody who can play in a bunch of roles as well as out wide, or just bring in, a versatile winger slash inside forward. And I think Bakayoko is very raw in certain aspects, but I think he's young and impressionable, and Mikel Arteta could mould him in line with what we're doing at the club already. Reports from Belgium have suggested he could be on the move from the Netherlands this summer. Obviously, he's currently at PSV. Reports also from Belgium suggest that Arsenal are now in the conversation for the youngster. I said younger. He's got 14 goals and provided 14 assists in 48 games, people. And he's also won a league title with PSV, and he's got interest from Bayern Munich. I'm not sure how far that goes now with Elise, joining them, and Liverpool as well as Arsenal, and probably a bunch of other clubs. It's for Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is eager to secure Bakayoko, with PSV reportedly demanding 45 million euros for the transfer. And we all saw what he did in the Champions League group stages against Kirill, man. Big up Kirill. Again, people, he's been linked with Liverpool. Who knows? The man himself has said, the only thing I can say is that next year I'll be on a football pitch somewhere. Really? You reckon? I received a call from company last year, and it's true, he was going to go Burnley, apparently. He then explained his vision. That was nice. I clarified my view. It was a good conversation, but that was last summer. I didn't talk about leaving, so I didn't understand why people were saying, why didn't he move? There was no option of leaving, but that's part of football. People give their opinion. I see myself playing everywhere, anywhere. I follow the Premier League. I have friends there. I also have friends that play in Germany, so I watch a lot of games when they play. But this season, I haven't even talked about leaving. I was just thinking about preparing for the Euros and trying my best to be fit. Fair play. So in the last 24 hours, Nico Williams, Eze, obviously can play out wide, but not Elise. Eze, Nico Williams, Pedro Neto, Bakayoko, bit of creative journalism. The one thing that they all have in common is that they can play out wide. So again, I do think we have to temper our expectations, but it is what it is. Completely off topic, but Mustafi, our former defender, has announced his retirement from football, age 32. He is a World Cup winner, and he's taking up a role as assistant manager for Germany's under-17s national team. Best of luck on your new endeavours. Mohamed Kudus, who's been linked with Arsenal as well as other clubs, has been linked with a move away from West Ham, but the club are yet to receive an offer for the attacking midfielder. Allegedly, he has a release clause of 85 million pounds, people. I mean, would you lot do that for Kudus? Let me know, people. Arsenal allegedly want 50 million for Eddie Nketiah, and Eddie Nketiah has been linked with several clubs. Again, you have to take things with a pinch of salt. If you could get 50 million for Eddie Nketiah, I'm all for that. It's about time we made someone pay through the nose, because whether you like Eddie or not, if he was at another club, they probably get something. Whatever you say about Eddie Nketiah, he has wore the number 14. He has established himself at points, being our first choice striker. He is an England international, obviously one cap wonder. And I do think, I don't think Eddie Nketiah is ever going to be a world beater, but strikers do peak late, and he hasn't been exposed to proper sustained first team football. So there is an element of that. He could show a lot more than he's currently showing with a different platform. So it's about time we paid through the nose. But with Eddie Nketiah, it all depends, because if the move doesn't make sense, you're under contract for a decent amount of time. You're on 100 grand a week, allegedly. You're wearing the number 14. Mikel Arteta clearly has faith in you to some degree. So it's a bit of a sweet gig in that regards, people. An unnamed Premier League club is interested in signing Kingsley Coman. I'm not too sure if that's something Arsenal will go down, but we did try to get him when he was actually a youngster. He does fit the billing in terms of being an inside forward. Keeping up the theme with Nico Williams, I have covered this in another video, but allegedly Arsenal are open to additions to their front line. Nico Williams and Pedro Neto are of long-term interest, but there are obstacles to both deals. In Neto's case, his injury history is a major concern. Williams would be expensive. His £49 million release clause would need to be paid in one go. I have covered that in another video. Arsenal kick off pre-season early as Mikel Arteta takes 6 gunners on Marbella fitness camp. Eddie Nketiah, Timber, and a couple of others are getting under Mikel Arteta's training regime already. For Smith Rowe, I badly hope you get an opportunity next year, even though the writing appears on the wall. But allegedly, Benjamin White, Eddie Nketiah, Timber, Reece Nelson, who's been linked with a move away, Emil Smith Rowe and Fabio Vieira have joined up with Arteta in Marbella on Monday, so yesterday, to work on their fitness. And apparently, Odegaard is due to join them. And for Timber, we just need him to be fit, get up to speed, and make up for lost time. For Smith Rowe, I hope you can convince the manager that you've got a role to play. Fabio Vieira, for me, next season is last chance saloon. I do like you, but if we're still having the same conversations a year from now, I think the writing's on the wall. I don't know if we'll sanction Nelson leaving without actually bringing in another wide man, but for him, you probably need to bang on the door and depart. Benjamin White really should be playing for England at the Euros right now, but we all know that that's a decision that has nothing to do with football. So yeah, big them up really and truly. And as you lot know, people, we're going to America. Obviously, the Emirates Cup games have been announced, so it's coming thick and fast, people. Mudryk apparently, faces an important preseason at Chelsea. It has no relevance. I'm braced to see Arsenal linked with a move for Mudryk at some point this summer. Joshua Zirkzee and Jonathan David, two men that have been linked with Arsenal Football Club. Apparently, Manchester United are actually in talks with both of their advisors to potentially get a deal done. I'd rather Zirkzee. Don't really believe in Jonathan David, but what do I know? I'm talking on YouTube. He's a professional footballer. We were linked with Morello before. I didn't really buy it because I can't see us paying a premium. And we all know Nottingham Forest are facing financial pressures, and he could leave Nottingham Forest. It actually says he could leave this week, people. So who knows? And he's been linked with Liverpool. Apparently, Edu rates him a lot more than Mikel Arteta. So it seems like there's a bit of a disagreement there. So it appears that seems to be everything currently to go over, people. So let me know your thoughts on Coleman, Kudus. Who else did we discuss? Nico Williams, Pedro Neto, Bakayoko, Eze, and anything else I've missed out. As usual, don't forget to comment your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bells. Big up you lot, people. I'm off to take a shower and actually get some other edited videos for you out there. So yeah, big up yourselves. One love for the support. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.